What's going on, everybody? It's Jeremy coming to you with another video, and today I am back, so let's get into it. And we're going to talk about Anthony Fauci, a garbage piece of shit. That's who Anthony Fauci is, and clearly everyone is aware of what type of person this dude is. But we're also going to talk about Dave Chappelle, and we're going to talk about media narratives and how this entire situation, it says a lot about a lot of different things. But I want to focus in on the media narrative, because the media narrative is that everyone that reviews movies negatively is because of racism. It's because they're intimidated by black people. It's because they're intimidated by women. It's because of this, that, or the other. No, it's about the message. Nobody cares about the race or the gender of the person. They care about the message behind what they are, quote unquote, review bombing. In other words, giving their opinions. And when those opinions don't line up with what the mainstream narrative thinks they should be, they are deemed as review bombing. So we're looking at Anthony Fauci's documentary from Disney Plus and, was it National Geographic? And you see a whopping 2% audience rating. 2. I posted about this about an hour ago on Twitter when it was at a 4%. Now it's down to a 2%. And of course, you have the media shills out there eating it up. And this is why the media has been completely compromised for the most part. You can't trust what these people say. You can't trust what type of feedback they give you, because they are activists. They are not in this for giving valuable opinions anymore. Once upon a time, I liked Rotten Tomatoes, and I really wanted to see what the critics would say. Now, it's completely compromised by activists and woke SJWs. That's it. So you look at that discrepancy and you see that 2%. Now, if this would have been a black person featured in this, then the narrative would have been, well, it's just because a bunch of racist individuals are review bombing it. But, of course, we have another person in the news named Dave Chappelle, and he has a special that has a 97% called The Closer. Now, of course, those brave and stunning critics that are always looking for representation, those brave and stunning critics that'll tell you that, hey, if you give a movie a bad review that has black people or women in it, it's because you're intimidated by non-white dudes. Yet here they are giving Dave Chappelle's The Closer negative reviews, because these are the types of people we are dealing with. Yet this movie or this special has a 97%, and that is coming off of his previous, which has a 99% on Rotten Tomatoes. Yet America is a racist country, everyone. People that give their opinions on Rotten Tomatoes are only doing it because they are intimidated by black people and women. That's what we heard about The Last Jedi. That's what we heard about Ghostbusters 2016. That's what we continue to hear over and over again. Whenever they produce a bad product, they want to fall on the side of racism and misogyny. But of course, if that's the case, then why is this happening? Probably because it's about the message. That's all that matters to people, generally speaking. It's the message. And the message here is that they are trying to paint Anthony Fauci, a legitimate piece of shit, as a heroic figure. And people are smart enough to see through it. And that is what's happening here. Now, as far as Dave Chappelle's The Closer, I did watch it. It's fine. It's nowhere near as good as Sticks and Stones, in my opinion. But it's good, and I like that he's upsetting the right people. The right people are upset about Dave Chappelle's special, The Closer. They're very, very upset, and I love seeing it. But in my opinion, it's nowhere near as good as Sticks and Stones. Sticks and Stones was fantastic. Another film that I often reference when we're talking about this stuff is Shaft. Now, again, this is a film that has an all-black cast and is directed by a black man. Yet the critics gave it a 34%, and those racist fans gave it a 94%. How is that possible? You know why? Because Shaft is not about PC nonsense. It actually is a respectable movie with decent comedy in it, and people actually like it when you're not telling woke stories, because it has nothing to do with race or gender. It has to do with the messaging, and the messaging in Shaft is not woke. The messaging in Dave Chappelle's Sticks and Stones is not woke. The messaging in The Closer is not woke. The messaging in Fauci is nothing but lies and manipulation. That's it. So people are responding. And that is the point I wanted to make. And again, this is the point that I often make almost all the time. when I'm talking about people like Brie Larson and I'm talking about the things that she has said over the years. Then I say, well, if she said that about any other race and gender, would it be allowed? Well, of course it wouldn't be. Am I bothered by what Brie Larson said in isolation? No, I don't get bothered by anything. But when I see the media treating the attack on white people differently than they treat an attack on any other race or gender, or a criticism of race or gender, that's where my problem starts to come into play. If you want true equality, which we know that they don't mean that, whenever you hear someone talk about equality, what they're asking for is special treatment, because they're not looking for equality. They're looking for special treatment. This is what we've been noticing across the board. It's not that hard to figure out. People are starting to realize that the media is the enemy of the people. They have been for a long time, and they will continue to be, because they see the rise of independent creators and they don't like it. They see the rise of independent voices and they don't like it. They see that they are losing their influence and they don't like it. And the more desperate something is, the more dangerous it becomes. Because the closer something becomes to death, which the mainstream media continues to get closer to that, the more desperate it becomes, the more dangerous it becomes, and they lose all sense of reality. They will say and they will do whatever it takes to keep your attention off of what's really going on. And that is how we get nonsense like this Fauci documentary. Continue to let your voices be heard. Continue to tell them how much you despise them and how much you see through their bullshit. Never let up. Never let these people think that they can intimidate you, because they can't, as long as we, the people, stand against it. You guys have a great day. Thank you very much for checking out this video, and we will talk to you later.